What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. I'm pretty stoked. We're going to be diving into the Kizer dogfish today. So without further ado, let's head to the top down. Before we get too far into this, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You can also follow us on Work Knife Balance 939 on Instagram. That's a great way to communicate with us. Let us know what you want to see, what you don't want to see. We don't post a ton over there, but we do respond to messages, and that's, like I said, the best way to communicate with us. Let us know. If you've got something you want to send in for review, we'll do a review and send it back and say thank you with some sweet swag. So, yeah. This is the Kizer Dogfish, aluminum scales, 154 cm. Lots of greatness in this. Probably my favorite of the three that came in on this unboxing. And we'll do some measurements, tip to tail, side-by-side comparisons. I'll give you my impressions, and that'll be it. So we'll start off with the measurements. Tip to tail, we are looking at just over 7 1/4, we'll say 7.35 or so. For blade length, we're looking at about 3.2 with a cutting edge of about 3 inches there. So I would say this is that kind of like everyday carry, EDC size for compact carry. Not quite a big blade, under 3.5, really under 3 1/4 for that blade. And then it's really not a massive handle either, so you don't have to worry about too much going on there. I really like the scales on this. So let's do some comparison, then we'll get into that. I'm jumping ahead of myself. We've got the Civivi button lock Elementum up top. We'll do the Civivi Sokoke Ray Laconico design down below. Go ahead and get a Migron Pagos out here. We'll put that one down there as well. I think that's a decent size comparison right there. Go ahead and pull out the NAF's Lander 2. That's probably one of the closer size comparisons. Do a Vosti Nightshade as well down below. For giggles, we'll put the QSP Penguin up there as well. And then just because everyone's got one, either this one or the larger one, we'll go ahead and put the Rat 2 in there to show you kind of a size comparison. So definitely larger than that Rat 2, more in that NAF's Lander and Penguin size, as you can see there. Really good knife. I have really come to love the fidget factor on this knife. You've got 3 different deployment methods. You've got that low profile flipper tab on the back there. You do have a blade hole there, so you can do the thumb hole or you can do the reverse flick off of that. And then you can front flip off the top as well. And then not necessarily, I mean, it is an opening method. You can push the button and then wrist it out. I don't necessarily love that one as much, but all 3 of the traditional opening methods are dialed in. They feel really nice. It looks good. Yeah, I like this knife. So what they did with the scales here is they have a ripple effect coming out from the pivot here. It adds a really nice texture to it. I really like it. One thing I will say is on the show side, that button kind of messes with the whole design, in my opinion. I think it would have been really cool if you would have had kind of a ripple coming from the button as well as the pivot. And then on the clip side, you have just the ripple coming from the pivot. It would have kind of added a contrast from one side to the other and then made that button not look like it stands out. Nothing to write home and say, oh, this was a miss, because it's not. I just think that would have looked cool. It would have been something that probably adds way more in the milling and time-wise and design feature of it, and so probably would have raised the cost of the knife, and so I'm, for that reason, glad they didn't do it. This does come in at $100, which for 154 cm steel, we can see right there, and aluminum scales, is not bad at all. And this is probably one of the more fidgety knives that I've had in a while. One of my favorite fidget knives is my Cormorant, Kizer Cormorant, and this kind of goes right up there with that. This is definitely a fidget fiend with so many different opening methods, and having them all be dialed like that, it is definitely fidget fun for sure. You do have a reversible pocket clip. Pocket clip is just a stainless steel, but it does reverse to the other side. You have a filler tab up here. You got to take the scales off to take it out, but you can flip it over and lefty carry if you wanted to. Ergos on the knife are amazing. They are really good. So it probably just dialed perfectly for my hand. I'm sure there's other people who don't love it as much, but this anchor spot feels really good with that little ramp on the back side of the blade here. You can also, there's a kind of really subtle choil that doesn't quite hit here, so you can actually anchor your finger in here without getting any sort of bite from the blade. These 3 fingers then wrestle in, and then you've got that ramp still, and it feels really good in here. So both the choke up and the regular hold feel fantastic on this knife. At least for my hand, this is kind of a perfect ergo knife. I really like the way it feels. There's a kind of chamfered or rounded edge on all of the back sides and the front side here, which make those ergos feel good too, because you don't have any hot spots or any areas where you've got the angles coming in. And then on the anchor spot, it's a little bit deeper in there, so you can actually feel that quite a bit better. So yeah, I'd say for $100, this is pretty fantastic. I would love to see more variation. Originally, with the lighting that came in the day of, I thought this was more like a canvas deep army cot green or something like that, and it wasn't. It's just a black and gray, and that's also because I'm colorblind. So sometimes you think black and gray would be really easy to see, but sometimes my eyes play tricks on me. So I've just got the black and gray that I was able to find. I wasn't able to find any other colors or any other variations. I do think it would be cool if they had a couple other variations. If you did the aluminum, just kind of a raw aluminum, so people could anodize or customize or whatever they want, that would be pretty cool. The raccoon that came out, Vosteed raccoon, the blue aluminum that they had, that was a really good blue. I really liked that color a lot. And so I think if you did something like that, the blue, black and blue would be cool or something like that. But all that just costs more money to make more knives. So yeah, I understand why they didn't 100% go with it. I don't love the dogfish logo right here, putting it on the blade or anything like that. I would try and get rid of that if I could. I don't mind the Kizer on this side as much, but if you can hide it or get rid of it, that's great. The 154 CM I like because it lets you know what the blade steel is. If you can put them down here, I think Devo does a lot of theirs down here, and I think that's really cool because then it hides it from the aesthetics of the knife. But other than that, jimping's good, action's good, knife is fantastic, and for $100 or $99, this is kind of a steal of a deal in my opinion, especially if you are a fidget fiend with your knives. This is definitely a fun fidget knife for sure. Action is right on that kind of like medium detent feel. Nothing that's going to rip your finger off. Really easy to hit every single opening mechanism, and you can even kind of roll over the top like that as well with the top flip. So yeah, I don't have much else to say. That is the Kizer Dogfish. It is a buy in my opinion, and I'm probably going to be picking one up soon because I really like this. The fidget factor on it makes it fun, it makes it easy to mess with, and it just kind of, yeah, the aesthetics, everything. This was a really well done knife, really well put together knife. So until next time, TTFN, we will put links below. So if you want to follow those links, they support our channel. Thank you very much. Until next time, TTFN.